Welcome back, guys. This is King Weaves in, and this is What If Naruto had Momoshiki part finale, not part finale. And last time we left off with Naruto pretty much beating Tsuki in the preliminaries, and now we would see Naruto going to his 1 month training. Sasuke would be training with Kakashi, and Tsuki would be helping out Naruto train because Naruto doesn't have anyone to train with. And anywho, now of course, Naruto and teams. Sorry, Naruto would still meet Jiraiya, and Jiraiya would take on his training. And pretty much after this, Naruto would learn the summoning jutsu, and that would be his first step to Sage Mode training, as he would become a Toad Summoner, and Toad Sage Mode seems like what he's going to be doing. And anywho, now and of course, we would see how Naruto would learn the summoning jutsu within a week, no, in a week, in a day, sorry, and he would take 2 weeks for the Rasengan. As I know he's much stronger, but here he took his time for some reason, and it's called plot armor, plot convenience, not armor. But anyway, now, of course, we would then see Naruto and Tsuki training for the last week together, as Jiraiya actually had to leave early and told Naruto to train hard for the last week, and he might be able to come and watch him. Of course, he's going to come late, as he's going to come and help in the in the attack on the leaf. Now, the training exam would begin with Naruto and Tsuki parting ways, as Tsuki would go to the stands as Naruto would go get ready in the changing room, as he was the first fight against Neji. Now, Neji was an easy fight for Naruto. Naruto easily destroyed him. Neji did try his best, and he even got quite close. He even landed the 8 trigram 64 palms on Naruto. However, it wasn't strong enough to defeat Naruto, and Naruto had the advantage the whole fight, and in the end he won, as Neji realized that he's going to lose. And anywho, he always thought that Naruto was a failure, although he never really heard much about him, and he always assumed he was going to be a failure because of how the villagers treated him. And anywho, now, of course, Naruto and Neji would make amends, and Neji would change his ways and become friends pretty much. And anywho, now, of course, we would see Shikamaru's fight next, as Shikamaru and Temari would fight together, and here Shikamaru would actually take the win, as he actually wanted to win this time. He didn't actually want to. He wanted to show Naruto that he's an equal to him, and he's no slouch. He's not always lazy, as Naruto thinks that he's always lazy. And anyway, they're pretty good friends, and they're kind of rivals if you think about it. And they kind of, well, in shoji, not in actual ninjutsu, and in their ninja careers. And anyway, now, of course, Naruto and Naruto and Tsuki would watch Shikamaru win easily. And here, since Temari never really won her match, Kankuro would want to at least show that to the Leaf Shinobi or the Leaf Village that he's quite strong and win his fight. However, he wouldn't win, as Shino would actually be able to defeat him in a last ditch effort by actually destroying him with his attack bugs. He has defense and attack bugs on his side or in his arsenal, and he used the attack bugs to pretty much attack him finally, as those were his trump card, and those attack bugs were quite strong, destroying a bit of his puppet and pretty much biting and absorbing all the chakra remaining in Kankuro. Not all of it that he dies, but most of it. So he's out of the fight. Now, we would go on to see Sasuke arriving last second. Sasuke would actually have the clear advantage here from the very beginning of the fight, even without, he would be faster without his Sharingan than, unweighted Lee, and with his Sharingan he would be just on a whole different level of speed. But anyways, of course, Gaara would get pretty pissed off, and he would unleash his Shikaku. Of course, the attack on the leaf would begin, and Naruto and Tsuki and Sakura were assigned by Kakashi to bring back Sasuke safely. And anywho, now, We would see the Hokage go up against well, Orochimaru and anywho. Now, Naruto would use his wood release. Yes, he would have wood releasing. I didn't mention the last part. I'm pretty sure I did, but if I did not, I am sorry for not mentioning it earlier. And anyway, he would use his wood release to save Sasuke from being attacked, and Tsuki and Sakura would take Sasuke away. Shikamaru would have joined the fight and took out pretty much the ninjas following them, and Kankuro wasn't here to actually stop them, and Temeri was just taken out of the fight instantly by the Gara. And then she was fainted, and then now Naruto and Gara would become friends, and the Hokage would still give up his life to pretty much save the Leaf Village. Of course, Naruto using his wood release, he would absorb a lot of chakra from Shikaku, making him pretty overpowered for a second, but it was way too much chakra for Naruto to handle, as it was a sudden chakra boost to his chakra, and he wasn't really ready for it, and he didn't really realize he would absorb that much that quickly. He's never really absorbed chakra from anyone else other than or anyone. In fact, he's never really used the absorbing abilities of wood release and anything. Now, of course, once he did, he realized that it's quite overpowered and he needs to control how much chakra he's absorbing at a time. Otherwise, he might go insane from the amount of chakra he gets. Now, of course, we would go on to pretty much see uh, the Hokage using the Reaper Death Seal, and Sasuke not being too injured here. Of course, his bones were still cracked here and there, but still they were injured enough for him to be in the hospital for a full month or something. And then now, of course, Sasuke would still be hospitalized just in case, and also because his ribcage was kind of cracked and they needed to heal it. And right now, there were too many injuries for what the for the medical ninjas to actually handle at the same time. So Sasuke was actually a low priority in patient because there were civilians who were injured quite a bit. And now we would see Naruto and well, sorry, not Naruto. Orochimaru. No, sorry. Again, Itachi. Sorry, Itachi actually coming in with Kisame and Sasuke hearing about the fight, and he would go after them. Naruto would have already left by then, and Sasuke and Tsuki would have followed Itachi to wherever he's going. Now, of course, Naruto and Now, of course, Sasuke and Tsuki would see Naruto pretty much opening the door to Itachi and Kisame, and Tsuki would scream out for Naruto to close the door, and Naruto would realize that this is dangerous, and he can feel the amount of pressure coming off of Kisame. The killer intent from Kisame was enough for even Naruto to be quite, not shook, but quite surprised and alert. And then now, pretty much Team 7 would be not Team 7, sorry, Naruto, Sasuke, and Tsuki would pretty much get ready for battle as they realized that this would be a hard fight. Naruto would kick Kisame into a wall, kicking him outside the hotel room, and pretty much Itachi would be attacked by Sasuke, and Tsuki would actually try to stop Sasuke from attacking. However, Sasuke was too enraged and he attacked anyway, regardless of the consequences and regardless of his own safety, which was quite a stupid move from Sasuke. And now it got him, pretty much in a stranglehold. And Tsuki really couldn't do anything to help Sasuke right now, as she was paralyzed by the amount of pressure. Itachi was giving off. Even Naruto was surprised, and he tried to attack Itachi. However, Kisame got in the way, and Naruto told him to, get out of his way. And, Kisame would just scoff and says, "You get out of my way." As he says that, he pretty much slaps Naruto away. And anywho, now, of course, Naruto would be injured a little bit, and Tsuki would actually attack Kisame at the same time. Now, Sasuke would be put in the Infinite Tsukuyomi, just like Kakashi, and in the end they would pretty much be saved by Guy and of course Jiraiya. Now we would see Naruto still find Tsunade, and Tsunade bad mouthing the Hokage being like a grandfather figure to Naruto. Naruto wasn't having it, and he's like, "Nah, you can't do that to my guy, the Hokage, bro. Not today." and pretty much he gets pretty pissed off, and yeah, a little fight ensues between the two, and clearly Naruto wins, and Tsunade was convinced of him becoming the Hokage one day, and she saw, well, her little brother and Naoki and Dan in Naruto, and pretty much she was surprised that someone else would take on their dream, and of course we would see Naruto and what Naruto, Tsunade, Shizune, and Tsunade. Wait, Naruto, Shizune, Jiraiya, and Shizune actually returning to the Leaf Village. Of course, Orochimaru really couldn't get in touch with Tsunade because of Tsunade actually going back to the Leaf Village. And once he found out, he realized that he had to find a new way to fix his arms. And of course, he does find it because that is Orochimaru, that is his character. He will find a way wherever he can, or however he can. And then, of course, he does find it. And pretty much now we would go on to see, well, Orochimaru. I mean, sorry, this Orochimaru sent Sound 4 to get Sasuke. Sasuke would be so enraged that, Itachi he wasn't able to kill Itachi, and he was saved by Kai and Naruto's sensei, Naruto's master, and he was in need of power. Of course, Sasuke would leave, and here Tsuki would actually come and visit him at night, as she was kind of worried for her brother, as the fight in the rooftop still went through as per normal, and clearly Naruto was the victor of that fight, and Sasuke was just not having it. He's like, nah, fam, not today, bro. I ain't losing. No, 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 no. And then in the end, Tsuki would tell the fifth Hokage, Tsunade, and the Sasuke retrieval team would be everyone except for Kiba, and instead of Kiba, it would be Tsuki. Tsuki would still take on Sakon and Ukon here, and well, the fights would ensue as per normal. Well, of course, we have Choji taking on Sakon and not Sakon and Ukon, Jirobo, and then we have Neji taking on Kidomaru, and then we have Sakon and Ukon versus Tsuki, and then we would also have Tayuya versus Shikamaru. In the end, Naruto would still have to go up against Kimimaru, who was an easy fight for Naruto, literally, up until, well, Lee arrived and told him not to waste any more time and go on his own. And Kimimaru was quite injured already, and not being able to keep up with Naruto. Even in his Curse Mark 1, he was nearly pushed to Curse Mark 2, but he realized that he used too much chakra, and he can no longer go into Curse Mark 2, so he's doomed for death. And then in the end, Naruto goes and finds Sasuke. However, when he actually arrived, Orochimaru found the cure to his arms, and he was there with Sasuke, waiting for Naruto. As Sasuke wanted to have one final battle, and then the Orochimaru would help out if needed. Of course, he was needed in this fight, as Naruto would be easily taking well, he would be easily taking the advantage here, or he would be taking the fight quite. The fight would be easy basically for Naruto, as he was much stronger than Sasuke. Naruto also had the support of Kurama actually helping him out, and well, we have Momoshiki actually rooting for Naruto. He's like, Naruto, you got this, don't give up yet. And of course, as he was losing chakra and depleting chakra quite fast, and now we would see Orochimaru and Kabuto actually arrive getting into the fight, and Naruto pretty much nearly losing. Yes, nearly, I say nearly, as Momoshiki would tell Naruto to give up his body, let Momoshiki take over. This is the first time Naruto has ever heard of it, and pretty much as Naruto would do this, Orochimaru would realize what was happening, and he could feel chakra coming out, a different kind of chakra, a divine like chakra, something that even he was scared of coming out from Naruto's seal. So instead of allowing Naruto to actually, well, let Momoshiki come out, he would come in the way and pretty much see or increase the, well, just well, he would actually tighten the seal, and Naruto would then be hit by a Chidori in the chest, actually piercing through his chest, and literally nearly killing him, and Sasuke leaving Naruto for dead pretty much. But Naruto would still be healed, just the major injuries, but the minor ones, the Naruto could only heal the hole in his chest, and not the actual, and stop the bleeding of, from the chest, but not the bleeding from anywhere else, as the chakra that he could give to Naruto was limited now, And now we would go on to see Naruto being saved by Tsuki and or well, and Kakashi calling himself a failure for not being able to stop his own well, his own his own students from fighting, and then Tsuki says it's not his fault, and then now Naruto was told to give up on Sasuke, however he said no, and he would go on to his 2.5 year training. Tsuki would remain in the village as Naruto said goodbye to her. Tsuki would be training with Kakashi, and Kakashi and Tsuki would be training as they would Tsuki unlocks the Mangekyo by now, as she after seeing Naruto in that state, she unlocked the Mangekyo, and they would train together for 2.5 years, and Naruto also. Now, we will have a time skip to Naruto Shippuden straight away. I won't be mentioning too much that Naruto learned. Naruto actually did start his Seijo training, that's all I'm going to mention. He hasn't mastered it yet, and Jiraiya has. Naruto has slowly been loosening up the seals so he could actually talk to Momoshiki and Kurama once again, and he does loosen it enough so he can actually enter his mind or the mindscape where they were. And then now, of course, their cages were much smaller again as Naruto seal was tightened up, and now we would see Naruto and Momoshiki and Kurama bonding again. Now, Naruto would return, hug Tsuki, and straight away have the belt test once again, and easily Naruto would win with Sakura only. Team 7 and Tsuki would actually, yes, Tsuki did actually learn some healing techniques from Tsunade, and she would be just as good as, well, Sakura here. And so she was sent with Team 7 to actually uh, to the sand village as they got the notice that, well, Garo died, or Garo was captured, not died. I say died, but he does die here. And then here, of course, the once they actually arrived, thanks to both Tsuki and Sakura being there, and also Chiyo, the three worked together to actually, well, create a cure much quicker, and they were able to. Sorry, I did say he dies here. I was that came out wrong. They do save him, and as they actually interrupt the sealing procedure just before the whole Wantos was sealed away, Naruto would save Gara, and Gara's heart would still be beating, but really faintly, and he would actually, well, put chakra of his own into Gaara's own chakra reserves, as clearly Gaara was running low on them. And now, once Naruto saved Gaara, he looks back at the two Akatsuki members as of course, the sorcerer says, "Listen, there's too many of them. We need to separate them. Fly away. Try to get that guy's body, and if you can, fly as far as possible from here." So, of course, Deidara listens to Sasori, as Sasori is the smart one, and pretty much he was able to catch the Naruto of God with his clay dragon, as Naruto didn't expect this, like, randomly, and Gaara would be taken away. Not Gaara's body, as Gaara is still alive, and as Gaara was taken away, of course, Naruto would follow along with Kakashi and Tsuki. Now, Sakura and Shio would still have that fight, and Shio would have that emotional scene with Sorcery, and here Sorcery would actually change. He wouldn't actually kill himself. He would actually ask for forgiveness from his grandma, and his grandma said that if they ask the Kazekage, maybe he can be, he can return to the Akatsuki. He takes off his ring and throws it on the ground as he goes off to actually find Deidara. Once they found Deidara, all of them saw Naruto pretty much fighting Deidara and beating him to a pulp pretty much, and Deidara had no means of escape, as clearly there were too many ninjas, and Tsuki saw how Naruto improved, and pretty much Naruto would finish off the fight as he would actually kill Deidara. Naruto knew that he had to kill Deidara as he's a menace, he's a danger to society, and he's a danger to the tail beasts. And then now Naruto as would see Sasuke was about to attack until Chiyo got in the way, and Naruto stopped, and pretty much she would explain everything. Naruto had sympathy for, Sasori, as he was lost in life and he had no parents, he lost his parents too, and so he smiles at him and says, "I'm sure Gaara will give you a second chance." Once Gaara woke up, he was quite weakened, but still Shikaku was still faintly inside him. It was just a chibi version of him, so a really small version, and pretty much now, because of his low chakra reserves of well, Shikaku's, not Gaara's, because Gaara's ones would replenish over time. Also, Gaara would give a second chance to Sasori, and anyways, we would go on to the next arc, which would be the Sasuke, Sasuke little retrieval arc once again, but of course they fail here as Sasuke has gotten mad implants, and I know some people don't really like me giving Sasuke's wood release, but I kind of do want to give him wood release here, a bit making him a bit of an equal to Naruto and Tsuki, as Tsuki is much stronger than him with her Mangekyo Sharingan, and anywho now, of course. Naruto would try to fight Sasuke, but Sasuke would escape by creating a wood wall between them, and he was quite surprised that Sasuke could use wood release. Now, Sasuke would also unlock his Mangekyo by seeing his parents, his family, his clan getting massacred by Itachi over and over again in one of his nightmares, and this was enough for once again. He's seeing all of this over and over again for the past 2.5 years. Recently, he actually unlocks his Mangekyo. Now, Team 10 would still lose Asuma, unfortunately, and Naruto would be pissed off as he would actually go with well, with the Shikamaru and Team 10, as clearly Team 10 was going to go for revenge, with Kakashi being the team leader for now, and Sasuke, Naruto alone would sneak out, yes, alone, and Tsuki would actually follow him stealthily, and together they would actually arrive. But as they were going, Itachi's clone would actually stop them. Itachi would stop them and give the gift to Naruto and tell his sister the truth, as he knew that his sister was a prodigy and she would understand what he was going through now. Tsuki wants him to survive as she actually became a healer and a medical ninja, and she can find a cure for his disease. And Itachi declines. Itachi says that he will, well, he wants him and Sasuke to switch eyes once Sasuke turns good again, and if he takes his eyes somehow, he'll make sure. He hopes that the two can make amends and pretty much get the eternal Mangekyo so they never lose their eyesight like he is right now. So Itachi would hug her in his infinite Tsukiyomi one last time before his blood clone or his 30% power clone would disappear. Tsuki would have tears in her eyes as Naruto would console her as he realizes what happened in there. There must have been something bad, and he thought that he thought that she saw her clan getting massacred, but she says it's not that. It's something better. It's something that she wanted revelation, and she did. Itachi revealed everything, and Naruto says, "You can tell me about it later if you want." And Tsuki then says, "Yes, let's go for now." And then now, of course, they would go on to pretty much help out Kakashi, as Kakashi was taking on, uh, pretty much Kakuzu and Hidan. Hidan would then be taken on by Shikamaru, as Shikamaru would say that he'll take him on his own. And once Naruto would arrive, he would see Shikamaru running off last second. Well, right before he would run off, he would see. Well, right before Shikamaru would be out of view, Naruto would arrive and see him. And anywho, now Naruto would help out. Well, Naruto would show off his new jutsu, the Rasen Shuriken, which he has been developing for in the past 2.5 years, and also he accesses Wood Sage mode partially, and it would be like the Toad Sage mode with his blue pigment instead of orange, and his eyes would be normal orange to show his Sage mode. You wouldn't have mastered it, and you can only access it bit by bit. And Naruto throws the Rasen and pretty much catches Kakuzu in it and pretty much kills him. Now, of course, we will go on to see Naruto come back to the Leaf Village, and by this time, of course, Sasuke would have killed Orochimaru, and they would hear that Sasuke is near this forest, and they would actually try to find him, and they couldn't. Now, when they would return, Naruto would be depressed, and Jiraiya would still go on to his little suicide mission. Naruto wouldn't be invited here, as Jiraiya cared too much for Naruto to even alert him of it, and he made sure to be secretive about it. And he knew this was the best moment to tell Tsunade, as Naruto wasn't in the best moods to go out, as he shot himself in his home because he couldn't find Sasuke. And anywho now, we would then go on to see Itachi versus Sasuke as per normal. Just that Itachi would be absolutely decimated for the first part of the fight until he pulled out his Susanoo, which Sasuke was actually confused because his Susanoo was just a ribcage, while his one is an armored Susanoo. Like, what's this? What's the difference? Like, what one? Why is he so much stronger than me? He thought he was weaker, but then Itachi died on the spot, and Sasuke would fall as he was exhausted. Now, he would be told the truth about everything and he wanted to tell his sister. However, Obito makes up the fact that she already knew from the very beginning, and this kind of pisses him off that she never told him, and she was okay with it. Of course, she wasn't, because she didn't know from the very beginning, and she kind of wants Danzo dead as well. And, anyways, we would go on to see pretty much Naruto and, well, Naruto would find out about, well, Jiraiya's death. Yes, although Jiraiya had the perfect sage mode, he would find out about the seventh pain a bit too late. But he would he would be able to just tell Fukasaku in the pipe works of the Rain Village right before Pain would attack him, and he would go on for his last attack. However, he still hadn't figured out hasn't he didn't figure out about the 5 second cooldown thing, as he was able to, well, the Tendo Pain was able to, Almighty push him back, which actually was quite powerful, and then he would stab him and he would leave him for dead. And in the end, he would still sink to the bottom of the sea as the water would, well, push his body out of the pipework and into the, well, under the sea or under the rain villages lake. I don't know. And then I really don't know, but underwater. And Naruto would find out, and he would go on to master his sage mode within a week and a half, not 2 weeks, and he would return right before the Pain attack. Pain would still attack with trying to do an almighty, well, with doing an almighty push in one little part of the village, and not killing anyone. Luckily, he would do it, and people would survive. All the people would survive, and Naruto pretty much would tell him to take it outside. And Pain was about to say no, but Naruto creates um, 5 other clones, which destroy all his paths instantaneously, because Naruto uses both two Sage modes in one, and his power is on ungodly levels right now. Tsuki would arrive and use her Amaterasu. Yes, she had the Amaterasu on the Tendo Pain, but Tendo Pain was able to push her back with an almighty push, as 5 seconds would have passed, and he would Naruto would instantly attack Pain, as he instinctively attacked Pain with 5 clones, and Pain would have had to take on 5 clones of Naruto in a taijutsu fight, and then Naruto would kick Pain out of the village as the fight would continue or ensue outside the village. In the end, Pain was defeated easily with Naruto and the Tendo Pain, I mean, and he would find Nagato, he would get Taka no Jutsu, and since he didn't have to revive anyone, he realized that he was going to die anyway, and so he took one of the eyes out. As the Tsuki was with Naruto, and he says, "One of you can use this eye." Tsuki would take the eye, and then Nagato would actually die on his little thing as he run out. Well, he was going to die anyway because he was crippled since he was using so much of the Rinnegan. And in the end, Obito would take Nagato's eye, and Killer Bee would be captured here easily by Sasuke, as Sasuke would have actually had the Eternal Monkey Sharingan here earlier, as he would have transplanted his eyes, and that's why Sasuke would capture Killer Bee later on, and the 5 Summit would be held later on, so Tsunade would still attend there, as Sasuke would have actually went towards the Leaf Village to kill Danzo. Once he came, he actually instantaneously killed Danzo. Danzo was using a Izanagi, but Sasuke was too strong, as his Susanoo was nearly at a perfect Susanoo. Not perfect Susanoo, but his full body Susanoo. It wasn't the perfect Susanoo, as the perfect Susanoo we saw, it was with an armor, full body and everything. But anyways, now Obito would declare the fourth great ninja war. Sasuke would be captured by Naruto, as he was easily defeated by Naruto and Tsuki with a Rinnegan. And of course, the Rinnegan was quite powerful, as he was able to, with Tsuki using it first of all, it was able to push the whole entire Susanoo outside the village, and Naruto actually being able to use a Rasen Shuriken to actually destroy half of the Susanoo, and then use his wood release to absorb the chakra from the Susanoo, and pretty much Sasuke would be defeated. Sasuke would be held in prison for a bit until he was released by Tsunade's orders, as Sasuke was revealed everything from what Tsuki said, and of course Obito twisted the fact, saying that he was forced to do it. However, he had a choice. Well, technically he was forced, but still Sasuke wants to be reunited with his only remaining family, which is Tsuki, and pretty much they would have another eye transplant, and pretty much Tsuki would have one eternal Mongeki Sharingan, and one of the Sharingans, which was remaining, would be given to someone else, and that one someone else would be Naruto. Sasuke wanted his other one of the Eternal Mongeki Sharingans to go to someone strong, someone reliable, someone that he trusts, and he gives it to Naruto, as he knows that Naruto will be needing it to fight wherever power is within him. As Naruto was being sent away to master to Naruto's strength, Naruto gladly took it, and he actually put it in, and pretty much Satsuki healed him instantly, as she did an eye transplant within 10 minutes, just like, well, Rin did in the third Great Ninja War. Anyways, now Naruto would have went to where Killer Bee mastered his tail beast, but here Naruto wouldn't just be fighting, the Nine Tails, but he would be fighting both the Nine Tails and Momoshiki, which was a completely different fight. Now, Naruto would pretty much be fighting the two and meet his parents in the process, and pretty much hug them, and he would be grateful that they put these two inside of him, and they tell him that they didn't actually know that Momoshiki would appear out of nowhere, but they've seen what happened, and they see that he's a good person now. Naruto would actually unlock his Karma Seal, and Momoshiki didn't even allow it, but still Naruto is using the Karma Seal, and he's able to use it, and Momoshiki smiles and says, you know what? You win this fight, Naruto. Although I know I'm stronger than you, he knows that he's stronger than him. Naruto with the Karma Seal could be quite dangerous. He kind of thinks that Naruto could beat him, but he believes that if Naruto was able to use the Chroma's Chakra Cloak, he would definitely be able to beat him, even without 6-pass Sage Mode, because of the Karma Seal and the Chroma's Chakra Cloak, as Naruto can use it without even Momoshiki wanting him to use it or giving him the power. Naruto's just that strong. Anyways, now we will go on to see Naruto pretty much annihilating the Nine Tails, and the Nine Tails pretty much becoming good friends with Naruto, spotting each other, all three of them. Naruto would have the Karma Seal in his left hand, and now he would go on to pretty much into the war, and he would fight the war would go a bit similar to the original, as Naruto wouldn't have to use the Karma Seal, and he would actually, except for Sasuke being there, which would help out quite a lot, as Madara would have to fight both a clone of Sasuke, the Five Kage, the Five Kage would arrive later, as Sasuke would go on to help Naruto against the Obito, and Five Kage would get clapped. Sasuke in the end, Sasuke and Tsuki would have actually went to stop the reanimation jutsu. They would go to help Naruto later, but they did still encounter Madara first, and then went to stop the reanimation jutsu. As in the process, they actually came across Itachi. Itachi, of course, the trio of siblings using their Susanoo were able to destroy him. Tsuki's Susanoo is pink, by the way. And now, I know, I know it's a girlish color, but I'm just saying, I like pink colors. I'm just saying, I have pink shirts, pink hoodies, all pink. I go to school with a pink hoodie. People call me gay still. I don't care. Now, we would see the Fukage being reanimated, and the war would begin. The war would go a bit similar to the original up until Obito became Jubito, as three Susanoo two Susanoo were on top of Okuroma's cloak. I am so gassed. Anyways, now, of course, Jubito would be destroyed. Naruto would pretty much talk no jutsu to him with everyone behind him, and Obito would join them. Madara would still suck out the Naruto's from Naruto, and Tsuki would be completely, utterly pissed, devastated, and she would actually put up a great fight with, Might Guy, using her Rinnegan to actually pretty much slap Madara around. Madara wouldn't have the second Rinnegan because Obito didn't have the second Rinnegan, but still Obito was able to absorb the chakra from Madara because of his innate ability of 6-pass Sage Mode, or 6-pass chakra remaining inside of him because of the Tentos, and he was able to get the staff and go to Naruto and revive him, as Naruto met the Sage class, and pretty much he got the powers of the Sage, and Sasuke got the powers, getting a Rinnegan as well, and Naruto would inherently achieve the Rinnegan as well, and pretty much in one hand he would have the Karma, and the other one he would have the Sun Seal, and Momoshiki would even come out and greet the Sage of Six Paths, saying that he's one of the Otsutsuki, one of the main Otsutsukis out there. And anywho, now we would see Naruto and Sasuke returned and pretty much slapped Madara around until Kaguya arrived, and Kaguya would be sealed away easily with no casualties here, no Obito dying. Yes, Obito wouldn't die because Naruto would be so powerful that he even nearly killed the Kaguya. And in the end, pretty much as they were sealing her away, of course, Momoshiki's like, "How about you just kill her?" And Naruto says, "Maybe we shouldn't. I don't think I deserve the power." And Momoshiki then actually takes over Naruto, which everyone was surprised, and even Naruto didn't know how he did it. And pretty much he goes and right before Kaguya is fully sealed away, he actually breaks the seal, literally breaks it by himself, and pretty much because Naruto's body is so powerful, he's even stronger than Momoshiki right now. With the Kama seal, he pretty much kills Kaguya, and Kaguya and Naruto do meet face to face, and Kaguya says, "I will take your body." Naruto says, then Momoshiki appears behind Naruto and says, "No, you won't. He will just give him power." As he says that, of course, Naruto would return to the real world, and he was like, "What just happened? Why is this not working? Why is the dimension being destroyed?" And they're like, "You did this." And Naruto asks Momoshiki, and Momoshiki says, "Just play along with it." Naruto, "Yeah, sorry, I kind of wanted to kill her." And as he says that, he sees that he has two common seals next to each other in his left hand, and pretty much opens a portal as Momoshiki told him how to, and they would walk through. Sasuke would not want to fight Naruto as he saw how strong Naruto got randomly, and if he was able to use that power against him, he knows that he would stand no chance, and so that's where I'm going to end off. They would do the right hand sign, both of them together, and the Shinobi world would return to normal. Also, Obito would be sent to jail. Sasuke will be actually sent to jail for a bit and returned, of course, thanks to his war efforts, and also Obito saving Naruto, the hero of the war, and helping out drastically, changing the tides of the fight against Madara Uchiha. And now, of course, Naruto and Tsuki get married. The last still happens, and Boruto would still get his Jogan, not Dojan. And then that's what I'm going to end off. Hope you enjoyed it. Please take it, stay safe. This was the King of Weebs, and peace.